Hi, I'm Chris, and this is your guide to everything about the United Kingdom. Today we'll discover the people of the UK as we delve into the demographics of this nation. The full population of the United Kingdom is 64.1 million. That may not seem huge, but it is twice as populous as the state of California. And at just over half the size, the population is in no way sparse. It may surprise you, but the population is not evenly spread out, and the people of Britain are not identical. Of the four constituent countries, England is by far the most populated. In fact, the English make up 83.9% of the UK population. Only 8.4% of UK residents are Scottish, and even less live in Wales and Northern Ireland. If we look at this population density map, we can see that there are major population centres all over England. Looking at where the top 10 most populous cities are in the UK, almost all are in England. It's only when we get to the 10th most populous on the list that the non-English city makes an appearance. Wales and Northern Ireland don't even get a look in at the top 10. Looking at this map, you may believe that the most populated areas are around north-central England. However, you would be wrong. London is a full-on megacity. It has 15.5 million residents and is far larger than any other metropolitan area. Birmingham, the second largest city in the UK, weighs in at a measly 3.7 million, and that includes its surrounding areas and suburbs. London is so big that there are more people in London than in Scotland, Wales and Northern Ireland combined. Now we know about the geographical distribution of UK residents, it's time now to delve into the non-geographic distribution. So how then are UK residents distributed among multiple demographics? Here we see a population pyramid of the United Kingdom. It is a classy little tool that helps show the age and gender distribution of a population. The blue side denotes male and the red side female, and as we go up the pyramid, the ages increase. It can also show historical effects like war on our population. The eldest women outnumber the eldest men, many of which died in service to the country during both world wars. It also shows the post-war baby boom felt throughout the Western world. Future indicators also show on this graphic. At a rate of 1.92 live births per woman in the UK, the population growth is starting to slow and may in time gradually reverse. The ageing population has become a key political issue as baby boomers retire. There are more women in the UK than men. 50.9% of the population are female. This may be historically attributed to war. This may equalise in time as the bottom of the pyramid shows more male children than female. The UK is a multicultural society. Although a state religion exists, it is not mandatory, and religious freedom exists throughout the UK. The largest group in the UK are the Christians. This encompasses all denominations, including Protestant and Catholic. Many Christians in the UK do not attend Sunday services. Many consider themselves loosely affiliated with the Church of England. The second largest religion is the absence of a religion. It may be a stretch to say that this entire group are atheist, many are agnostics, and even more just have no religious affiliation. The UK follows the trend of many other nations, which in recent years have become increasingly secular. The remaining religions make up a small segment of the population. The largest of this section would be Islam. About 7.2% of the respondents on the UK census did not state a religion. It's unclear whether this group are evenly distributed. In the modern world, ethnicities have moved all over the globe. There has, over the course of the time, been migration. So, what are the main ethnicities in the UK? The vast majority of the UK's population are white British, 87.1% in fact. Although this may seem inordinately homogeneous for a population, keep in mind that this particular ethnicity has inhabited the UK for millennia. However, this group is a mix of Germanic, Celtic and Mediterranean influences, which over time have become somewhat indistinguishable. Asian ethnicities are next in line. This includes ethnicities from the Middle Eastern regions all the way out to Oriental areas, and includes the Indian subcontinent. Black ethnicities have a diverse range in the UK. There are people here who have Caribbean ancestry, and obviously the African continent has far too many ethnicities to list here. Mixed race individuals are at 2%, Although mixed race relationships still suffer some stigmatism in the UK, the general population are more accepting of mixed race couples than many other places in the world. A smaller section of the population do not fit into any of these groups. I've included a map which shows the non-white population density. To be clear, these areas marked in black mean that 20% or more of the population is not white British. As you can see, there are more ethnic diversity within cities than anywhere else. London, Birmingham, Bradford, Manchester, Sheffield and Nottingham show their most diverse population. The reason ethnic minorities are city dwellers may be economic. Historically, more opportunities are available in cities. Whites may have just been here longer and are in far greater numbers, which may go some way in explaining why rural areas are less ethnically diverse. Race relations in the UK are better than most places. However, as like many modern societies, racism still exists. More recently, debates about immigration and a global rise in Islamophobia have caused tensions between the far right and Islamic fundamentalists. Now, let's look at sexuality. Like most nations, lesbian, bi, gay and transgender people live here too. How many though? In the UK, roughly 1 in 20 people is either homosexual or bisexual. The prevalence of transgender people is much lower, however. A small population of around 56,000 people identify as transgender. The transgender community is gaining more acceptance in recent years. However, transgender individuals experience more stigmatism than most. Homosexuality, though historically frowned upon, has been legal since 1967 in England and Wales. However, it was not until 1982 when homosexuality was finally legalised across the whole of the UK. Transgender people have only been legally permitted to change sexual identity since 2005. It is difficult to put an exact numbers on the LGBT community. It has only been 30 years since the rights of non-heterosexual people have been recognised. Unfortunately, some stigmatism still remains, though luckily no longer at the official level. As may be common knowledge, the UK's official currency is the pound sterling. The UK GDP was £1.6 trillion in 2013. Or for comparison, 2.5 trillion US dollars. So how is this wealth distributed across the UK? Here is a chart from the Institute of Fiscal Studies. Each tenth of the population is separated out. You can see who makes up the poorest 10% and the richest 10%. The richest 10% have highly spread out incomes, many earning over £1,500 weekly. So let's clean up this graph by removing the top and bottom 10%. With the outliers removed, we can see that 80% of the UK population lives on £210 to £840 a week, the median income working out at £419 a week. This still puts 20% of the UK below the UK living wage of £277 a week, an amount considered suitable for a modest living in the UK. Geographically, average incomes are not evenly spread out. The north of England suffers from relatively low incomes, and people are much wealthier in and around London than anywhere else. This is just one of the many factors which cause political tension between the north and south of England. Historically, the economies of northern cities were built on manufacturing and mining, but since the 80s, when factories moved overseas and mining operations ceased, the north has had a tough time recovering. This concludes our guide to the demographics of the United Kingdom. I hope this has been an insightful video, and I promise you more is on the way. If you have any comments or suggestions, please put them in the comment section below. Next week, we'll look at what it's like to drive here, and the many little nuances that make UK driving so different. So until then, it's been a pleasure.